You know, ghosts are real, Bob.
You sure it's just not fear making you see these things?
That is a very good observation, sir. Maybe I'm crazy.
Maybe you aren't.
Oh, I thought you were going to say I was.
I don't know. That's why we're here to do this assessment.
Oh, this is very true. Oh, boy. Assess my craziness. Boy, that's a task in itself.
We're all a little loopy, so it don't matter.
I know, exactly. Welcome, everybody, to a brand new movie review where we talk about Winchester. And, you know, this was one that we had seen a lot of trailers for. Yeah. And, you know, it seems like a lot of these sort of horror movies are sort of coming out, especially early in 2018. And this was one that we were interested in checking out. So
yeah, I mean, we've only seen, one other horror film so far this year?
So far, yeah, I mean, Insidious, we saw that. So, I mean, where do you want to start with Winchester, sir?
This is our first February movie review, so...
So, yes.
Let's see. This movie takes place... This is based on a true story, so...
Yes, we do want to say that, look, Sarah Winchester was a real person. Mm-hmm. The house was real. In fact, the house still exists to this day.
And it's considered one of the most haunted places, or one of the haunted homes in North America.
Yeah, one of the most haunted places ever. And this takes place in 1906.
A long time ago. And if you don't get the reference to the last name Winchester, her husband was the creator of the Winchester Rifle Company.
Was the creator of the Winchester Rifle Company, and of course, once he passed away, she became one of the
major shareholders
within the company. Yes.
And well, I mean, you could say basically in the trailer, in the movie, Jason Clarke, who plays Dr. Pierce, what's his name?
I believe it was Pierce, but he's one of the psychiatrists or somebody, yes.
I mean, you gotta say you got a decent enough cast. I mean, at least some of the actors we could say: Helen Mirren, Jason Clarke,
Sarah Snook. If you haven't seen Sarah Snook before, she's also in a movie called Predestination with Ethan Hawke, and she was really good in that movie as well.
We also got Bruce Spence. If you don't know the actor, he's been in quite a lot of stuff.
You were loving Bruce Spence, man. You were loving.
He's got that kind of,
you know what,
villainy type thing, but he can also be the good guy too, in a creepy kind of way.
He's an actor that you say to yourself, I know I've seen him before somewhere.
He's done a lot.
He's done a lot, and he's a great actor.
He was in Mad Max movies. He was actually in Star Wars movies. I didn't recognize him until I saw a picture of him. I'm like, wow.
He was in the Matrix movies as well.
Yeah, he played the Train Man.
So I mean, he's been in a ton of stuff. All the actors here, I mean, they have decent actors in these roles. And the interesting thing is that this is inspired by a true story movie. And what I try to tell people, whether it's inspired by or based on true stories, is the idea of not everything is factual.
Yeah, more like anywhere from 75 to 80% of it's actually based on some truth of what happened.
Yes, but things are, stretched a little bit, and some things are not as truthful as it may seem.
Well, I mean, just like in this movie, this would take place in 1906, and that's a long time away. A lot of stuff could have been bent out of proportion.
And nobody really knows if, look, none of us was live in 1906. We don't know the conversations that happened. We don't know all of this stuff. So it's kind of like, you just go with it, hoping that they have some sort of accuracy here. And
I mean, there's always stuff that gets lost in translation with these types of films. But I mean, basically in this movie, Dr. Pierce, Jason Clarke's character, has to go to Helen Mirren's character to do a mental assessment.
Well, basically the shareholders sort of come to him and say, look, we want you to evaluate her mental stability and her state of mind, and if you feel that basically she is unstable, we will take the rest of the company from her. And so that's what his task is.
Basic power power grabs.
Yeah, it's a power struggle.
But I mean, once he gets to the house, mind you, the house, oh my God, it's like a maze within a maze.
I mean, what's great about that house, it just is the design of it is that you can go down a corridor and you could get stuck in that corridor because it's just basically no entrance to anywhere else. It's just completely, or you're in a room where there's multiple entrances. Somebody's gonna come in from the closet, for Christ's sake. So you don't know.
Even in the movie, Helen Mirren's character says that they keep rooms for a while, but then they get rid of them and add new ones on, and it just keeps adding on, getting taken out, getting added on.
And it's just craziness, just how much sort of the whole...
Me and him would get lost within 5 minutes of that.
I wouldn't, unless somebody gave me like some sort of like map or something, I wouldn't know a damn thing of what I'd be doing.
That's if the map's still accurate after like 10 minutes.
I know, it's craziness. But
the design, I love the design of the house. It's unique.
Yes, it's incredibly unique, and I really love the design of it a lot. And what I loved about the character interactions is that basically Sarah Winchester, unbeknownst to Jason Clarke's character, she wanted him specifically to come there. Once he finds that out, and of course we won't spoil the actual reasons for that, but I thought it was actually very clever the way she planned that.
And, you find out throughout the movie pretty much everything that you see in this film. It's very connected. It's all. I mean, everything you could say in the movie is very spoilerific, and even the first few minutes.
Yeah, even the first few minutes is very heaviness of it. And what I like about it is the idea that Sarah Winchester believes, look, all of these ghosts and these people coming to this house are people that have died from the Winchester rifles. And
there was a lot of ghosts.
Yes, and the idea that basically she is trying to help them move on.
In a lot of ways, you could consider her our own very version of Elise from Insidious.
In some ways, you're not wrong. I mean,
she can sense the ghost. She can, so I guess you could say she can see the ghosts. Even the other characters even the workers that worked for her is like, oh, we suspect something, but we're not really going to say anything about it.
They're like, well, look, I've heard voices, I've seen weird things, but they have a ton of respect for Sarah Winchester. Well, mainly because of course she's paying the money.
Constantly employed. They're working literally day and night. There's like no breaks. This house is being constantly made and remade throughout the entire course of this film.
Yes, it's not like, she tells the workers to go home at night. There's shift changes. People end up...
they probably do shift changes. Like, oh, you're done for the day. You've done your 12 hours. Let's get the next 12 hours.
Let's bring in the next person. And you know what I mean? In that way, I thought it was really clever in the idea of how the house worked, how she helped these ghosts try to move on, how the ones that don't move on, she ends up barricading them into that room and basically putting 13 nails in to make sure that they stay in there. That 13 is indicative of like trapping them in there. And I like that too. That was interesting.
I also thought, like you said, I like the design. Like I said, I like the design of the house. I like they very did the look of a 1906 family. The home style.
Yes, I liked. Whether it was I want to say like the clothing of it, or like the clothing, or the actual, like, they were using like horse and buggies.
Yes.
Or the hairstyles and the clothing, all of that
even
stuff.
The old school stuff, like their own version of skates and their own version of a PA system.
Yes, or stuff like that. I thought all of it was actually really clever to the period piece of it. I thought that was actually really cool too.
And a lot of these actors, a lot of actors, you think, oh no, they can't really pull off a time period. It's like, I could say without a doubt, Helen Mirren, she could pull off pretty much anything that she does.
Oh man, Helen Mirren is fantastic. And I will say that she's really convincing as a woman who seems crazy, but yet is acting very sane. And I actually really appreciated her performance a lot. I thought it was actually really good. I liked her performance a lot.
Even Jason Clarke's character, in the movie, at the beginning, he's very, without spoiling anything, he's going through a dramatic thing in the beginning of the movie. He's dealing with a loss, and he's trying to deal with other ways like over medicating, that type of stuff.
Yeah, and
prostitutes.
Because they had to fit in the prostitute part. But
of course.
But yeah, he's sort of taking sort of a little bit of poison, almost like a version of absence.
That or like what they do with opium dens and that type of stuff.
Stuff like that. He was doing that. Jason Clarke was really fantastic in the movie. Helen Mirren was. Sarah Snook was very believable in the role as, I believe, Sarah Winchester's niece. Yes. She did a great job in the movie as well.
The only one I think could have had at least a little bit more to do was the one that played the niece's son.
Okay, that kid?
Yeah, I thought he could have had to do a little bit more because he was barely in this film at all.
He was, but I don't think he was the big focus of the movie either. So
I would ask for at least 5 more minutes at least.
Sure, something like that. I will say this much. As far as like things I didn't care for, we talked about a little bit before the review, the predictability of it.
Yeah, pretty much everything in this movie was kind of foresaw where it was going.
You saw where things were going. Nothing was really like, I think, shocked to see it, at least for me.
There was probably only one little jump scare, and even then it was kind of bleak.
Well, even the thing about the jump scares, for me, this is something that I hate. There's the jump scares, there's like that little like sting when like a jump scare happens, like wah or something like that. And yeah, something like that. That's the best way I could describe it. And and I just hate it because it's almost like they don't trust in the fact that you're gonna jump anyways. They need to push it a little further, and that's something I don't really care for. I wish it was a little bit better done than that.
That's the problem with these types of ghost films, and like after a while it kind of gets all done. You've done everything. It's kind of hard to come up with something new.
Exactly, and I was kind of like, man, I was wishing the scares were a little bit more effective, and at least for me they weren't.
I thought they were gonna go one way toward the end with Sarah Winchester, but they didn't go the way I thought they were going to go.
Okay.
I don't want to say anything because it might spoil it.
Yeah, sure. And I think the main, the main bad guy or the main ghost or something, he was fine. He wasn't terrible. I thought it was
going to be something a lot more menacing, like something like, this is not really going to spoil it. I thought it was going to be like something like the husband or the child, that she's been grieving herself.
Oh, you thought it was going to be a little more personal.
Yeah.
Okay. I kind of thought it was going to be a little more personal too. Of course, it was the whole thing about the Winchester gun, and of course the person who died from it and couldn't move on. And I don't want to say much more than that, but I thought
they were also going to do at the end sort of like one of those twist endings. So you think everything's all nice and neat, it's like,
and then it wouldn't be. Yeah, it's like I said, predictable is the big word for this. I will say this much: this movie is directed by the Spirig brothers. Now, last year we saw a movie of theirs, which we actually ended up enjoying, which was. You don't remember?
I don't remember producers or directors or anything. I'm lucky if I remember the actors' names.
Well, good point. Jigsaw.
Really?
Yes, they directed Jigsaw, and we actually really did enjoy Jigsaw.
Jigsaw was probably the best one out of the last few ones that they made previously.
True, and of course the Spirig brothers also directed another movie that we really love, which is Daybreakers.
Really?
Yeah, so the Spirig brothers are an interesting director duo. Is this their strongest film? No, I wouldn't say it.
I think it depends on the project.
I think it depends on the project.
Ghost movies are not easy to do nowadays.
Ghost movies are not easy to do. If you were to say, like, on the off chance, okay, what's I think a really strong or favorite ghost movie of yours?
Or at least a solid one.
A solid one.
Like going up or down.
Yeah.
Probably for me, considering when we did a review last month, I would have to say the Insidious movies. I mean,
okay.
I mean, they did have some bleak points in it, but, you know, it kept solid. I mean, it didn't really waver up or down.
I mean, for me, like I said, this is not the most strongest film, and it's not even the most strongest ghost film. It's not even the strongest Spirit Brothers movie that we've seen. I
mean, you could say we've seen a lot worse ghost films.
Oh, yeah. By all means, we've seen worse, and we've seen much better.
Pretty much anything on sci-fi nowadays. I had to say it.
I know you did. But I mean, look, is there any more, like, I guess, thoughts or anything else you have before, you know, because it's pretty cut and dry.
I mean, honestly, I can't say anything without spoiling a film, and it's just like, if you want to see a ghost movie, you know, go see this. I mean,
honestly, look, I'm gonna be honest. If you want to see a ghost movie, there's a lot of great movies out there to rent or buy. This is a very middle of the road.
This is, for me, I think this wouldn't. I mean, if you don't go see this in film, just go rent it out when it comes to Redbox or Netflix.
That's it. I wouldn't. I mean, what's your final thoughts and grade rating on Winchester?
I mean, I thought everything was, I mean, okay. I mean, it wasn't a great film. It wasn't a horrible film. I think the only thing that kept it going from horrible was the main actors. I mean, the actors were the only thing keeping from this movie from flopping.
Sure.
Like you said, everything was predictable. I mean, the scenery was probably the only other thing that was a positive point. You know, how they did everything. You know, the character designs.
Yeah.
Without that, I would have given this movie an F.
Wow. Holy.
Because it was kind of cut bland. And, I mean, I won't say that, more like a D minus, somewhere in the D range. But I mean, if it wasn't for them, I have to give this movie probably a solid C plus.
Okay.
I mean, like I said, you know, it's hard to do a very good ghost film nowadays.
You're right. As far as I'm concerned, look, I mean, as I said before, look, there's a lot of great ghost movies out there. Where we said the Insidious franchise. I mean, that's really good. And I think that, look, if it wasn't for the actors, and you are right, and they all do a phenomenal job, this movie wouldn't really be worth it all that much.
That is true.
It wouldn't be worth it, and I think, again, it's a middle-of-the-road movie that is easily skippable. In my eyes, there's a lot of better stuff to go see in the theaters now. This is not really one of them. I would say, honestly, my grade rating would be a low C.
We're not too far off.
We're not too far off. I'm a little bit lower, but it's easily rented at a Redbox or.
But you can't
Netflix.
agree with my points for what I'd say keeping this movie from failing. The actors and the.
Yeah, the actors are definitely what keeps it afloat. I do agree with you. So.
I mean, I don't think any other point for this film. I mean,
yeah, that's it. You know.
I mean,
so.
There is one thing that we could say that was enjoyable about this film. We both recently become members of MoviePass.
Yes, we became members of MoviePass, and we both did it, and it actually, crazy enough, worked. I don't know what I was expecting. I guess I was expecting it wasn't going to work or something.
For $10 a month, you get to see any movie that's playing. At least one. You can only watch it once, but still, it's unlimited movies.
It's unlimited movies. It was fantastic to do. It was the first time we did it, and I'm looking forward to other times that we go and use MoviePass.
Oh, yeah.
Fantastic. So, yeah, I mean, overall, not a great movie, but a great experience with MoviePass. So.
I will also comment on this.
What?
I felt like as soon as we sat down with the film was practically over.
Yeah, it was a short movie, so, going expecting that you're not going to spend a long time with this movie, because it is kind of short, guys.
I looked at the time thing, it said 1:40. I'm like, it didn't feel like an hour.
It felt more like an hour and a half, maybe
more
less.
Like 1:20. Maybe.
Yeah, more like that, so it felt less, but, so, yeah, I guess that's, one movie down, next movie to go, so, alright. So, what?
There's something behind you. It's a ghost. You don't see it? You don't believe?
No, I'm sorry, Bob. I don't believe.
You have to open your mind. You have to let go of your fear.
If you only knew what my fears were.
That would make Satan tremble.
Oh my God, yes. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed the review. If you did, definitely give it a thumbs up, and we will be back next time for another movie review with less crappy ghost movies.
You hope.
I hope. Alright guys, take care.